What if that $10 bottle is slowly turning into a $2,000 repair? Fuel injector cleaners are a billion-dollar industry. Most do almost nothing. Some are too harsh for modern fuel systems. I'm going to show you 7 popular brands mechanics avoid, and the 3 that are actually safe. Stay until the end for the cleaner techs use in their own trucks. It's not the one with the flashy label. It's the one that actually works. Cleaner number 1. STP Fuel Injector Cleaner. Let's start with one of the most recognizable names in the automotive aisle. STP has been around forever. That red bottle with the oval logo is in every gas station, every auto parts store, every Walmart in America. It's cheap, usually $5 to $8, and the marketing promises a cleaner engine and better fuel economy. Here's the problem. It barely does anything. I've talked to mechanics who've done before and after fuel system inspections on vehicles using STP. The results? Almost no measurable difference. The formula is so diluted that by the time it mixes with a full tank of gas, the concentration of active cleaning ingredients is nearly worthless. STP uses a basic detergent package that was designed decades ago. It might have worked fine on carbureted engines from the 80s. But modern fuel injectors, especially gasoline direct injection systems, operate at much higher pressures and tighter tolerances. They need stronger, more targeted cleaning agents. The real danger with STP isn't that it damages your engine. It's that it gives you a false sense of security. You pour it in every oil change, thinking you're maintaining your fuel system. Meanwhile, carbon deposits are building up on your intake valves and injector tips. By the time you notice symptoms, rough idle, hesitation, poor fuel economy, the buildup is severe enough to require professional cleaning. A professional fuel system cleaning costs $200 to $400. An intake valve cleaning on a GDI engine can run $500 to $800. You thought you were saving money with that $5 bottle. Instead, you delayed real maintenance until the problem became expensive. If you want a fuel injector cleaner that actually works, STP isn't it. It's marketing in a bottle. Cleaner number 2. Lucas Fuel Treatment. Lucas is another brand that's everywhere. The bright yellow bottle promises to clean and lubricate your entire fuel system. It's been around for decades, and a lot of old-school mechanics swear by it. But here's what those mechanics aren't telling you. Lucas Fuel Treatment contains a significant amount of oil-based lubricants. That was fine 30 years ago, when fuel injectors were simpler and fuel pumps needed extra lubrication. Modern fuel systems are different. They're designed to run on fuel alone, without added lubricants. When you pour Lucas into a modern engine, several things can happen. First, the oil content can foul your oxygen sensors. O2 sensors measure the oxygen content in your exhaust to help your engine computer adjust the fuel mixture. When oil-based additives coat these sensors, they start reading incorrectly. Your engine runs rich or lean, your fuel economy drops, and eventually you get a check engine light. Replacing oxygen sensors costs $150 to $300 per sensor. Most vehicles have 2 to 4 of them. Second, Lucas can cause excessive smoke from your exhaust, especially on startup. That's the oil burning off. It's not harmful in small amounts, but it's a sign that you're putting something in your fuel system that doesn't belong there. Third, and this is the big one for GMC owners, Lucas is not recommended for gasoline direct injection engines. GDI systems inject fuel directly into the combustion chamber at extremely high pressures, up to 2,000 psi or more. The oil-based formula in Lucas can leave residue on injector tips that actually makes carbon buildup worse over time. If you have an older truck with port injection, like a pre-2014 5.3, Lucas probably won't hurt anything, but it's not helping much either. If you have a newer GDI engine, keep Lucas away from your fuel tank. Cleaner number 3. Seafoam Motor Treatment. This one's going to be controversial. Seafoam has a cult following. People swear by it. There are YouTube videos with millions of views showing seafoam cleaning out engines. And that's exactly the problem. Seafoam is a powerful solvent. It absolutely will dissolve carbon deposits, varnish, and gunk in your fuel system. The issue is what happens to all that dissolved material. When seafoam breaks down deposits in your fuel tank, fuel lines, and injectors, that debris has to go somewhere. It flows through your fuel system and into your engine. Some of it gets burned off, but some of it ends up clogging your fuel filter, partially blocking your injectors, or, worst case, damaging your catalytic converter. I've seen this happen multiple times. Owner pours seafoam into a high-mileage truck that's never had fuel system maintenance. The seafoam does its job. It loosens years of buildup. Then chunks of that buildup break free and cause problems downstream. One owner I talked to used seafoam in his 2012 Sierra with 160,000 miles. Within a week, his truck was running rough and throwing misfire codes. The mechanic found debris clogging 2 injectors. Cleaning cost $400. If the injectors had been damaged, replacement would have been $800 to $1,200. Seafoam also contains alcohol, specifically isopropyl alcohol and pale oil. The alcohol can dry out rubber seals and gaskets over time, especially if you use it frequently. Is seafoam effective? Yes. Is it safe for regular use in modern vehicles? That's where it gets risky. If you have a well-maintained vehicle and you use seafoam occasionally, maybe once a year, you're probably fine. But if you're using it as a regular maintenance product, or if you're pouring it into a neglected high-mileage engine, you're gambling. There are better options that clean without the risk of dislodging debris. Quick thing, if you're realizing you've been using the wrong products, you're not alone. Hit subscribe. I put out videos every week to help GMC owners avoid expensive mistakes and keep their trucks running right. Cleaner number 4, Marvel Mystery Oil. Marvel Mystery Oil has been around since 1923. Your grandfather probably used it. His grandfather might have used it. And that's the problem. It's a 100-year-old formula being used in modern engines. Marvel Mystery Oil was designed for flathead engines with carburetors. It was meant to lubricate upper cylinders and prevent sticking valves in an era when fuel quality was inconsistent and engine tolerances were loose. Modern engines are completely different. Fuel injection systems operate at precise pressures. Engine computers adjust timing and fuel delivery thousands of times per second. Tolerances are measured in microns. Pouring Marvel Mystery Oil into a modern fuel system is like using a typewriter to send an email. The technology has moved on. The oil-based formula can coat oxygen sensors and catalytic converters. It can leave residue on GDI injector tips. And because it's designed to lubricate rather than clean, it doesn't actually remove carbon deposits effectively. I've talked to mechanics who've seen engines with heavy varnish buildup from owners who used Marvel Mystery Oil religiously. They thought they were protecting their engine. They were actually creating a film that trapped deposits instead of removing them. Marvel Mystery Oil is cheap, usually $6 to $10. But cheap doesn't mean effective, and in this case, cheap might mean damage. If you want to honor your grandfather's memory, restore his old truck. Don't put his maintenance products in your modern GMC. Cleaner number 5, Gumout All-in-One Complete. Gumout makes several fuel system products, and some of them are actually decent. But the all-in-one complete formula is one I'd avoid. The problem is the solvent package. Gumout All-in-One uses aggressive cleaning agents designed to tackle heavy deposits quickly. That sounds good in theory. In practice, it can be too harsh for modern fuel system components. Fuel injectors have tiny rubber O-rings and seals that keep fuel from leaking. Aggressive solvents can dry out and degrade these seals over time. Once a seal fails, you've got a fuel leak, which is both a fire hazard and an expensive repair. I've also seen reports of Gumout All-in-One causing issues with fuel level sensors. The solvent can attack the coating on the sensor, causing erratic fuel gauge readings. Not dangerous, but annoying. And the sensor replacement costs $200 to $400. The all-in-one marketing is also misleading. No single product can effectively clean your fuel injectors, intake valves, combustion chambers, and catalytic converter all at once. Each of these areas requires different cleaning approaches. A product that claims to do everything usually does nothing well. If you want a Gumout product, their Regain High Mileage formula is gentler and more appropriate for regular use. But the all-in-one? Leave it on the shelf. Cleaner number 6, Royal Purple Max Clean. Royal Purple makes excellent motor oil. Their fuel system cleaner? That's a different story. Max Clean is a powerful, concentrated cleaner. It contains high levels of polyethylamine, PEA, which is the gold standard cleaning agent for fuel systems. On paper, it should be great. The problem is the concentration. Max Clean is designed for severe cleaning, heavily neglected fuel systems with major deposit buildup. Using it on a regularly maintained vehicle is overkill. When you use a cleaner that's too aggressive for your situation, you risk the same problems I mentioned with seafoam, dislodging deposits that then cause problems elsewhere in the system. Royal Purple also recommends using Max Clean every 3,000 miles. That's way too frequent for a cleaner this strong. Most fuel system experts recommend concentrated cleaners every 10,000 to 15,000 miles at most. If you follow Royal Purple's recommendation, you're spending $60 to $80 a year on fuel system cleaner and potentially causing more harm than good with excessive cleaning. Max Clean has its place. If you just bought a neglected high-mileage truck and you want to do a deep clean before switching to regular maintenance, it might be appropriate. But for routine use, it's too much. There are gentler products that clean effectively without the risk of overcleaning. Cleaner number 7, cheap, no-name cleaners. Walk into any auto parts store, and you'll see a shelf full of fuel injector cleaners you've never heard of. Off-brand bottles with aggressive claims and prices under $5. Stay away from all of them. Here's why. Fuel system cleaners are not heavily regulated. Anyone can mix some solvents together, put it in a bottle, and make claims about cleaning your engine. There's no independent testing required. There's no certification process. When you buy a no-name cleaner, you have no idea what's actually in the bottle. It might be mostly alcohol. It might contain solvents that attack rubber seals. It might be so diluted that it does literally nothing. I've seen lab tests on cheap fuel system cleaners that found the active ingredient concentration was less than 5% of what name brand products contain. You're basically pouring expensive water into your fuel tank. Worse, some cheap cleaners contain ingredients that are actively harmful. Methanol, for example, is sometimes used as a cheap solvent. It's corrosive to aluminum, which is what your fuel system components are made of. The $5 you save on a cheap cleaner could cost you hundreds or thousands in fuel system repairs. It's not worth the gamble. If you can't afford a quality fuel system cleaner, you're better off using nothing at all. Modern fuel already contains detergents that provide basic cleaning. A bad additive is worse than no additive. Alright, those are the 7 fuel injector cleaners you should stop using. Now let's talk about the 3 that actually work. The ones mechanics use in their own vehicles, the ones that clean effectively without causing damage. These aren't the cheapest options on the shelf, but they're the ones that actually protect your engine instead of slowly destroying it. Safe cleaner, number 1, Chevron Techron Concentrate Plus. If I could only recommend one fuel system cleaner, this would be it. Chevron Techron Concentrate Plus is the industry standard. It's what most mechanics reach for when they need a fuel system cleaner that works without any risk. The active ingredient is polyethylamine, PEA, in a concentration that's strong enough to clean effectively but gentle enough for regular use. Techron has been tested extensively by independent labs and consistently performs at the top of fuel system cleaner rankings. What makes Techron special is the balance. It cleans carbon deposits from injectors, intake valves, and combustion chambers without dislodging chunks of debris that cause problems downstream. It dissolves deposits gradually and allows them to burn off safely during normal driving. Techron is also safe for all engine types: port injection, gasoline direct injection, turbocharged, naturally aspirated. You don't have to worry about compatibility. The recommended usage is 1 bottle every 3,000 to 5,000 miles, or with every oil change. At $12 to $18 per bottle, that's affordable maintenance that actually works. I've talked to mechanics who've used Techron for decades, not because Chevron pays them, because it works. When they're maintaining their own trucks, Techron is what goes in the tank. One thing to note, make sure you're buying Techron Concentrate Plus, not the regular Techron. The Concentrate Plus formula has higher PEA levels and is more effective. The regular version is diluted for use with every fill-up, which isn't necessary if you're doing periodic treatments. Safe cleaner number 2, Redline SI1 Complete Fuel System Cleaner. If you have a GDI engine, and most GMC trucks from 2014 onward do, Redline SI1 should be on your radar. Redline is a company that specializes in high-performance lubricants and additives. They're not a mass-market brand like STP or Lucas. They focus on products that actually work, even if they cost more. SI1 is specifically formulated for modern fuel systems. It contains a high concentration of PEA, along with other cleaning agents that target the specific types of deposits that form in direct injection engines. GDI engines have a unique problem. Because fuel is injected directly into the combustion chamber instead of the intake port, the intake valves don't get washed with fuel, Carbon deposits build up on the valve stems and heads, causing rough, idle, misfires, and reduced performance. Most fuel system cleaners can't touch intake valve deposits because they never reach the valves. SI1 is formulated to produce cleaning vapors during combustion that help break down these deposits over time. Is it a miracle cure? No. Severe intake valve deposits still require professional walnut blasting or chemical cleaning. But SI1 can slow the buildup and reduce the frequency of professional cleanings. Redline SI1 costs $15 to $20 per bottle. Use it every 5,000 to 7,000 miles for best results. It's more expensive than Techron, but for GDI engines, the specialized formula is worth it. Safe cleaner number 3, Liqui Moly Jectron. The third cleaner on my safe list comes from Germany, and it's the one I mentioned at the beginning, the one mechanics use in their own trucks. Liqui Moly Jectron is a fuel system cleaner that's been used in European vehicles for decades. It's specifically designed for high-precision fuel systems, exactly what modern GMC trucks have. What sets Jectron apart is the testing. Liqui Moly doesn't just make claims, they back them up with independent laboratory verification. Jectron has been tested and approved by major automakers including BMW, Mercedes, and Volkswagen. These are companies with extremely tight tolerances and zero patience for products that cause problems. The formula uses a combination of PEA and other detergents that clean effectively without any harsh solvents. It's safe for oxygen sensors, catalytic converters, turbos, and all types of fuel injection systems. Jectron is also incredibly easy to use. One bottle treats up to 20 gallons of fuel. Pour it in before you fill up and drive normally. The cleaning happens automatically over the next few hundred miles. At $18 to $25 per bottle, Jectron is the most expensive option on this list, but you're paying for German engineering and proven results. For owners who want the best protection for their fuel system, it's worth every penny. I use Jectron in my own truck every 10,000 miles. No issues, no deposits, no problems. That's the kind of results you want from a fuel system cleaner. Those are the 7 fuel injector cleaners you should stop using, and the 3 that are actually safe. Your fuel system is the heart of your engine. Treat it right, and it'll run for 300,000 miles. Treat it wrong, and you'll be paying for repairs that could have been avoided with a $15 bottle. If you want to learn more about keeping your GMC running right, check out my video on the 12 mistakes that cost GMC owners thousands. And if you're worried about engine problems, watch my video on the 3 worst and 4 best GMC engines you can buy. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.